this tutorial video, we're going to go over the video drive and how to preview your videos in Voomly. When you first open Voomly, it defaults to the video drive, as you'll see here. You've got this nice folder structure that's very easy to use. Let's create a new folder. You click the Create Folder button and give it a name. Click Create, and it appears in your list. Now, if you want to make it a subfolder of another folder, simply drag it into the other folder. So now if I open this folder here, you'll see my new folder has appeared. I'm going to go ahead and drag it back into the main video drive, and you'll see it right here. You'll notice it does not have any subfolders like all of these others do. If I want to create a new subfolder within it, I can go ahead and click Create Folder and give it a name, just as before. And there it is. So let's upload a video. Go ahead and click the Upload Video button and navigate to a video file that you'd like to upload. It'll take a little while for it to upload, depending on your internet speed and the file size. And now here's my video. You'll notice it has a title, the duration, the number of plays, the file size, last modified date and time, and then a series of actions that you can take. You've got Analytics, Player, Download, and Delete. If we click on a title, this panel will open here. I'd like to go ahead and edit the title, so I'm going to click here, and we're going to just say Welcome Part 1. Likewise, I could have clicked the Edit button. You'll see the video player that's been assigned to it. Right now it's got the default player, but I could change it if I'd like by selecting a different one. Voomly allows you to create and store all kinds of different video players with different settings, and I'll go over that in the next video. Now, to preview your videos, you could click the play button and it'll begin playing right here. Or if you'd like to see a preview in its own page, you can click this link here and get the share link. This is going to be the public link to your video. Go ahead and click it and copy it to your clipboard. Now let's open a new tab and paste it in. And here's my shared video. Now I can click the play button and watch it right here. This is exactly what your viewers will see. Let's go back into Voomly. And finally, just as we did with the folders and subfolders, you can drag and drop your videos into different locations. So I've just dropped it into my subfolder, or if I want to put it into one of the courses, I could do that. Or I can have it stand alone by dragging it into the video drive. And here it is all by itself. And that's the basics of the video drive. In the next tutorial, we'll go over the video players. Thanks for watching.